Welcome to the Property Premier League, the weekly podcast where property meets Premier League football. I'm your host, Chris Mervyn, and joining me today is my co-host, Jamie Asland. Each week, we'll dive into the world of property and football from the unique perspective of professionals who live and breathe both. So if you're passionate about property, Premier League football, or both, you're in the right place. Get ready for your weekly dose of all things property and football with the Property Premier League. Let's kick off. Good morning, Jay. How the devil are you? Football is back. I can't believe it. It's been so long.
I know, with no FA Cup action for both our teams, it's been a long break in what seems like a season that's about to come to an end. To have a 2-week break is it's interesting, but we've got exciting times for. You've obviously got a new manager installed, and hopefully he's had a bit of time to work with the team, which doesn't happen often. We get a 2 or 10-day break when he came in before Premier League action starts. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I've still visited Hill Dickinson on a flying visit of Easter.
I saw that.
Monday. I went Easter Monday. I worked in the morning, then obviously with starting this, I've not had a great deal of time with my son Jai, so which we knew, but so I shot up on Monday afternoon and did an Easter stadium tour. So that was something nice for him to keep making their memories, mate. If I haven't got time, but just to keep making their memories at the moment.
Exactly, mate. And we always talk about work-life balance, in particular if you are busy. And as any sales professional, to be honest, will tell you that you're driven by that next list, aren't you? Yes. And if you're not out there getting it, you feel like you're missing out. The fear of missing out is massive in sales, regardless if you're in property or not. But especially property, where it's so competitive, and you are not in the shop window all the time, so you think that that's your chance, and if you miss it, it's gone. So make the most of everything, 100%. I've looked at, I've actually watched a bit of the FA Cup stuff. I've enjoyed it actually, and I've been watching a few bits of Championship as well, and in League One, obviously with Plymouth Argyle as well, and Lincoln have obviously got promoted to Championship.
As your nephew will be happy, and Tony Ruby and other people that we've had on here that have done it. And it is a great story, and it's amazing for the city. And they are going to have an open top bus tour. I think they're just finalising that, and I think they need 2 more wins from 5 to win the actual. They've been promoted, but to win the League One, they'll need 2 out of 5. Cardiff have still got a chance of, and Bolton, to be fair, I think, of winning the League One. So yeah, but it's great for the city, and obviously it's the nearest city to me, 20 minutes down the road. So it's great for everyone to have that buzz.
Yeah, I did have Mr. Tony Ruby just comment on a few of the Property Premier League things about Spurs, saying that we'll see you next season, and that was before they were promoted. So they were obviously confident, and well, they're a bit like Coventry, aren't they? Really, by miles, the best team in that league, really. So
yeah, and I think they've got the 4th lowest playing budget. So phenomenal. It's sort of people had said, I think if you looked at some of them pundits to do the pre-thing, that Lincoln could be down for relegation this year. That's what they thought at the time when they do the predictions for who, like they asked Paul Merson and people like who goes up, who goes down. I think some of them would put Lincoln in the very bottom, or that we're going to go down. And you look at it now, and they're champions of League One.
Mate, I always listen to Paul Merson. Obviously not.
I couldn't think of another pundit, but you got what I mean.
Definitely, and obviously Championship as well. Coventry just 3 points away from getting promoted on there now as well.
Frank.
Yeah, so they've done really well, and that's a really competitive league and really interesting as well. And obviously, where our respective teams find themselves as well when we look at the league a little bit later on, and the upcoming matches.
Big weekend for both of us, actually. Big weekend.
Massive weekend.
Different reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, regards to Zerbi, for my team Spurs, yeah, he's in there. I've watched a few of the clips on his training sessions as well, and you can take it. You know, every YouTube clip looks brilliant, doesn't it? You know,
they're not all down scratching their heads, are they?
That's exactly right. Yeah, looking confused, saying, "What is this coaching? We've not had a coach for a while." To be honest, for the players, if someone's he can't go in there and change philosophy straight away. He has to adapt what they're already doing. Surely, I think the pressing there is really
make you hard to beat. Though you can don't have to change a great deal to make you hard to beat.
All he has to do is put the players in the right positions for a start. That would help.
And have you got more players come back, Chris, from this 2-week break they've had? Have they had?
Kudos is in training, but I think he's going to be end of this month. Like, to be honest, all we need is two wins, and we might be okay, if that makes sense. 2-3 wins.
Yeah.
But
I thought Solanke looked sharp for England, so he must have had 2 more weeks.
didn't train
come
yesterday.
Back. No, did he not? Oh, bloody hell!
No, didn't train yesterday. He's kind of made a little bit of paper, I think, but then we've got other players coming back. Benton Call's rumored to come back as well, which would be good because he is a good player when he's on form. When he's not, he's slightly late, shall we say? He's a bit of a Romero. Yeah, you like him because he gets stuck in, doesn't he? He does get stuck in. And Sarr was injured when he was away on international duty as well, unfortunately. So yeah, we've got a few things, but hey, that's every team, isn't it? Really, but we were just talking about Lincoln there, where they've got no playing budget, and sometimes things just click, and you get that feeling in the dressing room, and it's the hope that kills you. There you go. I say it every episode. Funny with having no football for the last 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks for Spurs. Suddenly, everything. Oh, we might have a chance. We might have a chance. Realistically, you just got a different coach, the same players. So we'll see what happens. But it can be like that. A bit like when people come into businesses. Actually, they make a lot of difference, don't they? Sometimes, especially managers. So
definitely.
Not bad. How's your week gone, mate? Good. What have you been up to?
Yeah, not been
listing.
Yeah, listings are still strong. Sales have been, I'm not ashamed to say it, have been a little bit quieter. The bank holiday was okay, as bank holidays can be. I wasn't flat out. It was okay.
Justified you being open over that period.
Yeah, I opened all of them, mate, as well, and I ended up doing a bit on Easter Sunday, which is not what I planned to do, but I ended up doing a bit of overspill to get some viewings in and stuff that they couldn't get quite squeezed in. So, but it was fine. It was all good. So we did that, and then out of appointments on Monday. I think for estate agents, it's really interesting because you need your office open if you've got one. But really, a bank holiday or weekend, you want to be on the ground, out doing appointments, not sat in an office. So I was quite lucky that my days were full of viewings and bits and pieces. So it was a bit of overspill from that. In my local market,
lovely weather as well, mate.
Yeah, definitely. In my local market, I think we just chatted before I came on here, but there's not loads of new listings coming to the market. We're seeing a lot of recycled listings that you and me spoke about, which you get in auction as well, but about people that are changing agents, not necessarily bringing new stuff to market. I'm quite lucky that I've got a couple coming in the pipeline that are brand new to market, but I have also got 5-6 that are wanting to come to the market with me that are on with other agents currently.
So what do you do on new listings then, mate? Do you actually, because obviously whenever you've missed out on a listing, regardless if it's private treaty or auction, etc., and perhaps you haven't been called out to it, it's massively frustrating when you haven't been called out to it. You can lose listings, but not to be called out. You're like, oh, that is frustrating because they never got to hear how I could have made that difference, if that makes sense. So when you're looking at things new listings coming on, I always look at stuff and think, okay, that's good. Why is there one picture there? Sometimes at auction there's a reason, obviously. Why is there no floor plan? Sometimes the reason, again, well, there's no floor plan. But for private treaty in particular, you can obviously improve and see areas where you can improve, how you can describe things, how you can change things. 3D floor plans, I'm not a massive fan of those. I like the flat ones. They work better for me. Put a video on their social media presence, you can do all that. Do you have a strict rule on that kind of thing? Do you, for instance, sometimes you see properties where, okay, that price looks similar, so that should sell, but it hasn't. What do you do on a listing like that?
So we talk about one's been on with someone else, or just in general?
Exactly.
Yeah, someone's been on with someone else. So I'll reappraise it, and that sounds crazy because a lot of people will just take what they've got and go from there. But I always say to people, I'm going to look at it as if your house is on the market. What do I feel it's worth? And obviously do my comparables and value the 3 ways. You got square footage, what you think, so on and so forth. But I'll have a look at it and just see what I think. Sometimes marketing is key. Have they done enough to get it out there? Not just the usual, but obviously I use Dean as a professional photographer. He does the floor plan, the video, and the photos. Then on the back of that, I will do the social media stuff myself, which I think agents are becoming more okay with. If you're on Facebook and a polished video probably don't get as many as a quick snippet of, which sounds weird, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
it's real life Facebook. It's you sat at home, me sat at home, our families, friends, clients sat there looking at things. And if you're going, look, this is amazing. I'm here right now. This is a snippet of it, unedited. Get it out there. That's what you're sort of looking at. Is I find we get really good traction with that. I did one yesterday. I walked into a house, 6 o'clock viewing, and I might have done it on purpose, but it sounds cliche, but they baked a loaf of bread, a fresh loaf of bread. It sat there, and I walked in. I was like, wow, that smells amazing, especially when it's just near 6 o'clock, which is basically tea time for a big lad like me. I just put a quick video out there, and people were like, yeah, this is.
People are like, what sort of bread was it? Nothing to do with the house.
I put something along the lines of, there's a knife here? Is this an invite for me to? And it just, things like that. What gets you in? Especially.
Did the vendor do that on purpose?
I don't know, but I think so. But brand awareness and stuff is for them little videos. Doing something that's really polished looks great, but sometimes they're just what gets engagers at the time of what people see, and they see it as you see it in that life of that moment. So back to your original question: professional photography, floor plan, video, marketing plan, price set with a review date, and then I take it to the market basically. And I'll be honest with you, I don't mind saying, I won't take something if I genuinely think it's price. I won't take it to the market with the same price on the current agent. There's no point. There is no point.
Yeah, I think on private treaty as well, you can. A day is a long time sometimes. So when I remember when I used to list private treaty, is that you did all the comps, did a comparables, fantastic, and literally you made it live, and the next day another property on the same road a bit further down came on the market because it was probate maybe, and made yours look massively expensive, and you're like, oh, okay. Market changes, not necessarily on what dominates and drives interest rates and stuff like that, but actually what else comes on as well. And so when you're reevaluating, it's not really like that's the right price. Actually, what else has come on? What is sold in that 4-week period as well, I guess.
You just got to be honest with people, haven't you? Like you're saying, say, look, I genuinely thought this, but the market's now telling me different. The communication is obviously going to be key in the transaction, isn't it, of what to do and where to go with it, really.
Yeah. How do you find sort of juggling the week after bank holiday as well? Do you find you're just is it massively like what day am I on? I had an extra day after the bank holidays. I thought I'd try and tag on that holiday day after those 4 days off essentially, and I was working on the Friday anyway. I worked on the Monday. I did a few bits on the phone on the Tuesday as well. So you can't really get away from it. But I'm just like, what day is it?
Yeah, no, it's because you sort of lose a day, lose a day either way. You lose a day out on appointments, but you're losing a day in the office. So it is, it's especially when I'm on my own. Effectively, I have people that come in and help, but I'm on my own. It's it's tough to lose a day, but still work it. So it's weird because I still work them all, but lost a day. So it was just a strange one. But you just have to streamline, prioritize, just get caught up. What's important? Your vendors want feedback.
Contact
was what you want. So they're what your main things are when you're getting caught up. And I've got a bit of a office day today, so that helps out on that front as well.
Nice. Yeah, the kind of stuff which actually they're little bits, but they make a lot of difference. And you have to get that. You have to block in some time to do it, don't you? And I'm always doing that in my diary. Block it in, office time, just to chase up valuations or do these little things.
If you don't put it in there, Chris, you don't do it, and that's as simple as that. And I learned that many years ago from the good people I worked with before, which is that if it's not in your diary, you don't do it. You hear Stephen Browns and other people telling you that if you don't physically put whatever you want to do, applicant updates, tidy up applicants, back val chasing, whatever. If you don't have that in your diary, you will not do it because something else will come in and it will take that spot.
Yeah, I'm a great believer in blocking out diary in blocks. Not necessarily you have to go into detail on that, but just so you know you've got that for a particular reason. And then I always start my day which sounds a bit strange, but I'll start on a new, either on the diary or in just a book, writing out all the things I have to do, and then
Yeah.
cross them off when they're done. And then if I don't do it, I'll move it to the day after. Typically, I will do it because ultimately that's the reason why it's on
Yeah.
that day, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
there are some
But
things you don't get
sometimes
around
things you
to.
can't get hold of people or whatever happens, you
Yeah.
have to move it on. But yeah, putting lines through things is a very. I'm looking at my book right now, but yeah, putting lines through things is a done, dusted, move on sort of thing.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? A little line through a chase. So Mrs. Brown for feedback or whatever it is, putting it through. Great, you've done it, you've chased it, and it's done. Or you move it to the next day or a little bit further in the day, perhaps. So, or you leave it blank. So, or you just put left message or whatever. As long as something is done. What was I going to say? Yeah, one of the annoying things I used to have when I was a manager of an office was when people were said that I've chased that, and you're like, what, have you phoned them? And literally, no, I just emailed them for feedback, and you're like, no, you need to phone them as well, and
Phone's your
then
best
you need to
friend.
put in the time in later on to actually chase it back as well. So little things like
Yeah,
that. But yeah,
definitely.
I mean,
Do you find that
diaries wise,
stuff comes back to you, Chris? Do you get recycled stock from auction or not particularly, or do you find the recycled stuff is what comes from private treaty to auction?
so with us, I think that we will definitely have. Sometimes people try to put it back into auction when they've done a bit of work to or whatever. It just doesn't make sense money wise. You need private treaties where you're going to get some money, and that's why we always value for if it's a property needs doing up, for instance, or there's a added value to it, then what would it be on the open market? That's your figure there, even if it's investment. So we sometimes have ones where people will buy them as big lots. There's lots of different opportunities to title split them, and then they'll put those title splits back into an auction situation. So we sometimes have that, but in general, no. I mean, we have clients come back to me, or we that repetitive clients always come back to us because we've given a good service and good advice. And I also have people, and it sounds strange, but I always stick to my conviction. If I think something's not going to work, I'll tell them, and I don't want the listing, if that makes sense. And that, in my opinion, is one of the strongest things you can do as a lister, because you will get it back eventually. It might not be from that person, but I had one the other day where, oh, what made you call me? Because I've spoken to you before. Oh, because I know so and so, and they were looking at doing an auction, and this particular client, it just wouldn't work. It would be no money. Your better route was to go down private treaty, and I gave them a few names and introductions to a few of our partner agents, and they went off and got it sold. Because of that good, honest advice
Yeah.
that came back through another person. So pass it on is 100%. I do believe in that. I really do. Give good advice. Give good free advice as well. Knowledgeable. There's no agenda there, if that makes sense. I mean, people are always wary with estate agents, and anybody who uses it in sales really is that their end goal is just to get something from you, to get a sale or to get a listing in particular. And I think it's surprising to me sometimes how refreshing it is when somebody's like, oh, well, look, really thank you so much for your honesty. And like, it's what I do naturally anyway. I'm not going to lie to you. Well,
Yeah.
there's no benefit to that. But maybe that's also a face of where we are for anything to do with property, where they do still feel that they get lied to just to get a listing.
You have the hard conversation at the start, not at the end or
100.
the middle, which is
Yeah.
amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Because
You've got to
you're
do it.
actually being you're being doing them the right thing, what you feel is the right thing for your client, but you're actually managing your time wisely. You're not taking on a headache and then trying to get rid of it when you think, oh no, it's too late. You do it actually at the start, which is an amazing skill.
Yeah, and also it's just a knowledge and experience, isn't it? Really, and having a confidence in your own ability, really. And I mean, look, most listers will think they're really good at their job, and I'm pretty confident I'm good at what I do, as you are, mate, as well. But what I would say is sometimes you look at something, and we always do desktop valuations anyway. So if I have somebody call in, or as an email, or somebody's left a message about property and they've given some details out, I'll have a look at it. If it's on the market, I'll have a look at it. If it's Google Street View, I'll have a look at it. and then I'll have some gauging figures there. And if I think that I'm not going to go any further on that because it just doesn't make sense, I'll give them a call, find out what the motivation is for selling, because obviously that's a key driver for auctions anyway. The main driver, I would say, speed and certainty. And often it's like, well, yeah, I need to. I'll ask the question, well, what have you got outstanding on the property? Do you need to clear a certain amount? And they're like, yeah. I had one the other day where it was a flat which was tenanted, and they're like, yeah, we need to, I think 80. I'm like, well, okay. So that, for me, that's not going to work. I need to, for me, auction is 40. So because of the rental yield, because it's tenanted. So, I just get mixed, advice on it. And yeah, it does come back. And I think it just makes you a better person and just cuts down the time of actually going through and wasting your own time as well, of course, which is really key. So obviously I've had that quite a lot recently in the last week or so, 2 weeks from listing for our next May auction.
When's that? Sorry, May, is it?
Yeah, May the 7th. So it closes this week. So
okay.
I've just literally had another terms of business in, which is great. So I've got to do a drone shot. Not as nice weather down here today.
How many do you think you'll have in this auction, mate?
10 myself, but I mean, I think we'll probably do hopefully close to 50 on this one as well. So May's usually quite good, and then we've got one in June and July as well, and they're usually quite strong because obviously, as we talked about, the weather plays hell of a part in property and people's moods, and there are seasonal properties as well which work a lot better. Although there's no, you can correct me if I'm wrong, selling periods where it used to be seasonal, March was always a push now and driver. Don't necessarily think that's the main case. There's still a little bit of that, but not mainly. But there are properties, especially in auction, where seaside town, holiday location, you're probably going to get more interest in those summer months, but just because of what it is, and it's probably going to get you a little bit more money because of that as well, because people will buy into, God, isn't this nice sitting out here in the sun? What a lovely place to be. So, yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So, and yeah, and just what am I doing tonight? Doing a talk as well. Being asked to give a short presentation tonight to business owners, which aren't property related for the first time as well, which would be quite interesting.
Whereabouts doing that, mate?
That's in Tavistock, so in Devon, so in the town there. So I go to a networking group called Really Use for Networking Run, and it's all about, it's quite a relaxed networking group, and it doesn't really have any targeted things. Sometimes with networking, you go there and it's like you must bring this business and so, and you swap businesses, and there can only be one type of business in the room, that kind of thing. It's nothing like that. It's really relaxed. It's a chat. It's meeting people. It's having general, just nice conversations, which aren't generally business either. But that obviously goes from that, because if you get to know the people, then you get to trust those people and actually go from there. So
I was going to say, mate, can you tell us what you're sort of planning to talk about? But this will go out after that anyway, so you maybe can give a little snippet of what you're planning, what's your thoughts and talk about.
Well, the person who's leading it, she asked me to do it. I've known her for a bit of time. She's a letting agent, and because they're not all property related, and usually the chats I do are property related, they're to do with obviously auction, the auction world, etc., and how to do well at auction, and how to get you the best information and best property, if that makes sense. So I've had to tailor it, and I had a good think about it. I thought, you know what, I have learned quite a bit from being business owner and all these other things as well. And so it's called 5 superpowers for distinctly average people. That's what the little presentation is called. So,
I like it, mate.
And it's basically, you've all got superpowers. You just need to find them. They're in you. And the things I've learned through making my own mistakes and learning people's mistakes as well, and successes as well. So it's probably more mistakes than successes, to be fair, but hey,
that's how you learn, though, isn't it? You learn
100%.
things you don't want to think, I won't do that again. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's ruined you or anything. It just means I won't do that again. Basically, I'm going to do something different. It's interesting you said that about how you're doing it different to the property world, but actually you've hit it down there. Really, it's a changing world. Take the property out of it, it's a changing world, isn't it? We talk about what's happening in Iran. Well, that wasn't happening 6 weeks ago, and that's a world-related thing that then affects the property-related thing. So the world affects everything we do. It affects the pound, that relates to mortgages, relates to borrowing, relates to property. the world, them people sat in that room, you tonight, I'm sure, unless they've got something I can't think of, that what's going on in the world will have affected them. Something will have, because if they've driven there, unless they're electric, their petrol, diesel have gone up in price. So there's something that's happening to change the world everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, no matter what business you're in, the fundamentals are pretty similar, aren't they? And they're exposed. We're all exposed to the same outside forces to some degree. Yes, you can get industry specific stuff, which really does resonate and hurt and affect your business. But essentially, we're all in it together, which sounds like some kind of party political slogan, but we really are. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. And if it isn't, it's only 15 minutes of their life they've wasted.
I'm sure it won't be like that, mate. I'm sure it won't be like that.
We'll see. Should we get on to it's going to be a short one today because we haven't got any football to talk about previously. Should we get on to the football for this weekend, because it's going to be a big weekend, mate, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really will be. Okay, you can go through these. You can go through
so
these.
Mate, Friday night you'll be hiding behind a cushion, not watching Blair Witch Project or Scream. You'll be watching West Ham versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. But that's a really interesting one, because if West Ham win, it gives them momentum again straight away. But if they don't win it, or Wolves win, or the Wolves, I think, draw it, it leaves them in a very tough position to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves, if they win, they're on 20 points, which is the same points as Burnley there. You see at the bottom. Hats off to them. Everybody wrote them off, and they're probably my well, obviously I'm a Spurs fan, but probably my favourite Prem team, just the way they've actually come back from adversity. Really, they're not going to do it.
In form, win, draw.
Massively in form. Lost one in the last 6. So
you just don't know if this international break will have derailed that momentum. You don't know, but
you don't. But West Ham, obviously, if they win, they're going to jump ahead. We will be in the relegation places. So looking at it, if they draw, then we've got better goal difference, so we'll still be out of it. So
just
so it's going to be an interesting one, mate, isn't it? What do you think on the result for that?
I'm sorry, mate, but I can't see West Ham not doing it. 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, I think it's West Ham will win as well, 1-0. You know what? If that's a shot on the arm some of our players need to go out there on the Sunday and do it, then that's what we need. But West Ham, I think I think 1-0.
Big game at 12:30 on Saturday as well, because Arsenal losing to Southampton in the FA Cup was not what anyone predicted. So, and Bournemouth have drawn, I think someone said the other day, they've drawn 6 on the bounce or something. So Arsenal have got to, they're at home, but they've got to really take that to them. If they, I just need to look at the table quickly, but if they,
there you go, mate.
Yeah, there you go, cheers. If they draw that and City win and their game in hand, they've still got to play Arsenal. And I know we joke about getting edging closer, but I genuinely think if we were at 25 games now with the point difference, Man City will win it. They were frightening in the FA Cup, how good they were. So I think Arsenal have got it all on still, which sounds crazy when they're 6 points clear to take the game in hand, but they've got to play each other again. And I just think, they've got to be really careful they've got to win this game on Saturday to put back the momentum in the Premier League that they are there to win it.
I think it's difficult, isn't it, when they had a good result in the Champions League, to be honest, but other than that, I think they have really struggled, and pressure is a strange thing, isn't it? I mean, there's no doubt they have been the best team overall for the season. In parts, are they the best squad? Are they going to win it? I still think Man City have got like you said, a massive say in this, and other teams as well, because obviously Arsenal got played some other matches as well. So
I can't see that. I can't see United or Villa getting there, but it's going to be tough.
No, but they're going to take points off other teams as well, aren't they? So we'll have to see what happens on it. But I mean,
and again, we talk about your game, knowing where you are before you play. Everyone will know where Arsenal is before they play their next games. You know what I mean? So, and then we move to the next one, which is huge in our season, Chris. To be honest, we've got some really tough games coming up. We've got Brentford, then the other half the City, and then Man City. We could be bottom in the bottom half by after them 3 games. So this Brentford game for our season is huge, to be perfectly honest.
So Brentford, so what, you're both on the same points, aren't you?
Points,
So
yeah.
you need this one, I think, and then what happens in 11 matches was what happens. But you've been really closely all the way through. Really, you've been matching. But great season, mate. It's a great season for you, really is. I think
it's a big one for us because, like I said, we play City and Liverpool in the next 2 after that. So you sort of, if you want to be in them European spots, you need to be beating Brentford to give you a 3-point buffer, and then you've got to get something out of Liverpool and see if you can. But we'll see.
So you're on 8. You're on 8 for on 46 with Brentford on 7, 46 just on goal difference. But Chelsea just above them 48, and they have lost the last 2 games as well. And what I've heard a lot of stuff come out of that camp as well. So it's not particularly mellow there, is it? At Chelsea, people are not. They're questioning their own positions in a team and moving to Real Madrid in particular. So
sorry, Matt, we didn't do an Arsenal Bournemouth score. What did you predict for that?
I think it will be. Let me just double check the Bournemouth form.
6 draws in a row, I think. 5.
They haven't lost for a while, have they?
No.
It'd be a big result if Arsenal need that result, but it'll be a big result if they do get it, because it will just put them back on an even keel. I think though it's going to be 1-1.
Do you know what? I was going to say 1-0, so I agree with you. 1-0. Brentford, Everton. Brentford tore us apart at our place, so I'm not super confident. We get a draw out of it, probably, but
I think it's going to be a draw as well, mate. I think it's 1-1. Yeah. I just.
And then we move to Burnley versus Brighton. Burnley at home, not been bad at home. I still think Brighton will have enough to take that over the top, though. So
Brighton.
I'm going to go Brighton 2, Burnley 1.
Yes, Brighton are. If they win that,
we lose. They'd be above us because of the goal difference.
Yeah. Interesting. I think that it's going to be. What do you say? I'm going to say 2-1 to Brighton.
I said 2-1 Brighton, mate. Yeah, that's it. Too fair. And then the 5:30 Liverpool versus Fulham. I think Liverpool will do that, to be honest. I think it'd be 2-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
I think Fulham at home would be different, but to go to Anfield, I think Liverpool have enough in the locker.
And they need a performance.
Yeah. Sunday, Super Sunday, we've got Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Palace at home, Newcastle away. I'm going to go for a Steve Green 1-1.
I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace win 2-1.
Oh, I like that.
Get on.
Big game for you coming up here, mate, as well. Forest Villa, because I think Villa away from home will be hard for Forest, but I can see Forest getting a point, but I couldn't see Forest getting 3 points.
No, I think it's going to be Villa. I think Forest is going to lose that 2-1. From what we talked about,
I was going to go for 2-2, but it might be 2-1. No, I'll stick to 2-2. I'll go 2-2 Forest Villa draw.
I just feel. I mean, I know we spoke about it a little while ago. I think Steve mentioned it as well, that Forest are the ones where I think that they might be drawn back into it if West Ham get a few results, and obviously Spurs got to win as well, or else we're down. But it's going to be really interesting between those 3 clubs and Leeds, to be fair. No, I think again it could be rose-tinted spectacles, but Villa could get the result there 2-1.
Do you if they do. And then on to your game, mate. While we're there, Sunderland versus Spurs. Sunderland at home. They have been better at home, but they have started to lose a few at home now, which probably plays in your favour. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win.
Mate, thank you. You've not been right all season, to be fair, when you're giving Tottenham a win, obviously. If ever we need a new manager bounce, it's now. And everything, they've rolled out Sandro to the training ground. think Dembele was there as well, so they really tried to push the narrative of getting behind the team, and we're all in it together, and we're a big club. And De Zerbi, by the looks of it, hopefully we'll have that. I'm going to be positive as well, and you said 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 as well. Let's do it. Come on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What have I got to lose, man? What have I got to lose?
Premier League. The next one will be a big one for that, because if Chelsea, if City do them, that'd be the third loss on the road for Chelsea. So it'd be interesting what happens.
They will. It'd be 3-2 for City. It'd
be a good match. That close? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I was going
to go 3-1.
Yeah, I think it's 3-2, and I think Chelsea are going to be 2-1 up at one point.
Ooh,
going to be a good match.
Not that we encourage betting, but you get some good odds on that. And then Monday Night Football sees us finish with Man United versus Leeds United. That it doesn't mean a lot but it does to them two teams because they hate each other. So I was going to say 2-1 United, but I know they drew at Leeds, so I could see Leeds getting something out of it, because that's a hatred of teams, not particularly league position, but of teams it is.
I think it's 2-2.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we could see
Good
that.
for you, Desmond, because we haven't done it yet.
No,
that's probably why. No, seriously though, I think that it will be tight. It will be full of vitriol, and as you said, that's one of the matches where people do get stuck in. So 2-2, I think. I don't know if there's any injury concerns there, but
I haven't seen anything, mate. To be fair, I haven't seen anything major. So,
and Man U, if they're 5, 6, 7, 8, I mean, Villa and Man U need to keep the pressure on, don't they? Liverpool, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Really is. Chelsea.
Any takes though for Liverpool to win and Villa and Man United to draw, and it just soon propels them back into that one win away from them again. So it's a tight, which is what you want to see at the end of the day. You want to see a tight table. So
you do. It makes it more interesting. If it was a runaway, it was, to be honest, I know this time it was Arsenal when they were X amount of points ahead, but it was like a little bit boring. But you wanted people to catch up. You wanted people to, and then for them to lose and get a bit of a wobble and get a few draws. If that indeed is a wobble, because back in the day when they, George Graham's era, draws got them probably the championship at that point. So Leeds, if they get a point, they'll be on 34. I'm just looking at the connotations.
I genuinely think that it's anyone out of Leeds, Forest, Tottenham, or West Ham.
I do as well. I do.
As much as Steve thinks he needs more at Palace, I think they'll probably save 10 points.
If end of the day, I'm there thinking
you've got 7 games to go, and you've got to. West Ham have got to be 3 wins and a draw better results than what Palace are. So I can't see that in 7 games. They've got to basically win every game.
What do you think would be safe though? If we were saying 39 safe, do we think 38 is safe or 37? 37 might do it.
Could do. Depends how the West Ham start. I think 30. I think 10 points, 39.
Yeah, 39 is where you keep. But I mean,
I'd be surprised if someone goes down with 39 or more. Put it that way.
But also, I can't see that. I can't see Crystal Palace not getting a point or 2, or a couple more. The next couple of games, I think they will. If you look at their results there anyway, drew the last one, won the one before, lost one. So they are sporadic, but they're not draw, lost, draw, lost.
Got a game in hand as well, look.
And they got a game in hand, so I think they'll be fine, to be honest. Who's that game in hand?
It's against City.
Oh, City. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, can have it all, mate, can you?
You never know, though. You've got a game in hand, don't you? It's not like you're chasing points. You've got a game in hand to get. If you got a point out of it, you'll be ecstatic, wouldn't you? So it's.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at this time of year as well, especially for the clubs there around about the relegation line, you start adding those points up, don't you? And suddenly, 9 points seems a lot of points, isn't it? A lot of points.
If you're West Ham, you've got 29 all season, and you've got 21 available. It doesn't look great, does it?
No, but in saying that, they have picked up 4, 5, 6 points in the last 6 games. So
yeah, point a game. So
point a
7
game.
more points is 36.
Whereas Spurs have 1 point in the last 6 games.
Yeah.
But look, the new manager's in.
Yeah, I think you've got to
We
draw a
need to
line in the sand,
bounce.
don't you, and move from
Well,
that.
what's the alternative? You just give up. Well, unlike some of the players in some of the matches, again, things like this, you never know what's behind the scenes, do you? In these teams in particular, and looking at Chelsea as well, there sometimes isn't smoke without fire. So perhaps there is a rumbling of discontent, even though they've backed the manager as well. Quite rightly, they should do, because under the day, he inherited a pretty good team, but I think Maresca and him are totally different managers anyway, so different styles of play, and they need different players, and that's going to be the thing now with any new manager coming into a club, including Spurs, where you've got Zerbi coming in, and you look at the squad in particular, and you think Ashley doesn't look like a Zerbi type of player, so he's going to have to get a tune out of those players and then assess them for next season. But they are all playing for their positions. But
Be interested if he throws any young guns in, Chris, that he's seen in training, like you'll do for me. You play in the position I want you to play in, and you'll do for me. It'd be interesting if he throws any.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if it's media narrative, do you? Because obviously, you get, as we said about YouTube clips, him there with his arm around Bergvall and really intense. He is a very much he'll do it over coaching, but he does like to coach individually as well, quite specific on what he wants from each individual position and player, which I think is really, I really like that, to be honest, because sometimes people it's like being at school. Did you get that? Did you understand how to do that maths equation in particular? Yeah, that's fine. A lot of them didn't. That makes sense. And when you actually go one-to-one, you find out actually it's the nuances, isn't it? And the changes and when to press and when not to, and where to go back into position as well, as your coaching badges as well. So there's a massive difference in and also have the ability to be able to do it. There are some players who, as you know, love the game and love playing football, and they get paid for it. Brilliant. That's a byproduct of them loving the game. Others who do it because they're good at it, but actually don't really like it. It's just a job. So maybe sometimes you have a overbearing seesaw of people who just do it as a job, and you know what? I'll get another job after this because I'm a good player, and Spurs go down. I'll get moved on because they won't be able to afford my wages. And there's clauses in contracts as well, so it'd be interesting to see what happens, mate. But hey, come on, you Spurs! Some interesting stuff in there, definitely, mate. Well, let's take that off. There we go, my friend. Well, look, have a great day today.
Thanks, mate. And you enjoy your busy day you've got.
Yeah, I'm off to do some drone shots. The sun's not out like yesterday, but I couldn't do it yesterday, so here we go. But yeah, it's going to be another busy old day and busy old end of the week. But
good luck with your presentation tonight.
I'll think about it at 5 o'clock, mate, when I'm driving there.
Yeah,
and I'll ad-lib it all the way. What could possibly go wrong, eh?
Well, no one knows.
Tune in next week to find out what went wrong.
No one knows what you're going to say. That's what I would say to people. No one knows what you're going to say, so just say what you want anyway.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, look, that's full time in today's podcast. Thanks for listening to the Property Premier League. I've been your host, Chris Mervyn, ably assisted by Jamie Aslan. Thank you, Jay. We'll be back next week with more insights and debates from the world of property and the beautiful game. They think it's all over. Well, you know the rest.